Good morning, everyone. It's Lindsey Huddleston back in the building with another SPS Monday Motivation. Hope you guys are doing okay. I had a great weekend. I had a wonderful weekend hanging out with my daughter. She's just growing up, and I tell you what, parents know this well. When you go from holding your little baby in their arms to being able to sit in the kitchen and have a mature conversation about them and their growth, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm grateful for it. Grateful spending time, and this has been Moneyball season. The Moneyball program is in full effect. We're about halfway through. Shout out to Desmond Ferguson and all the great things happening over at Holt High School for the Moneyball program. My intern and I will be back over there Tuesday, and I'll be back Thursday covering the events, being part of the greatness. So what is today's Monday motivation? It is, when not getting what you want is what you need. When not getting what you want is what you need. Like, come on, Lindsay. Come on, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that this morning, is what people may say. Look, man, I worked hard for that position, and I should have got it. I've been trying to get this situation working. It should have happened. As I say, I always pull from the headlines of my personal experience, and I'm going to omit the names in this particular situation, but I was spending time with a really good friend, and they commiserated with me about something not happening, not going their way, something that they felt they should have been able to take advantage of and receive an opportunity, but they didn't get it. I know what that feels when you commit to something, you work hard for something, you prepare for it, whether it's that job you felt that you were ready for, whether it's that position, whether it's that experience, and it just didn't happen. But here comes Lindsay talking about when not getting what you want is what you need. Oh, my goodness, I got my brother right here. Kevin Marshall, I'm going through this now in my job. Okay, brother, well, we going to talk. We gonna talk then. We gonna talk. Then it was on my heart for a reason. Good morning, my brother. Yeah, and for the record, folks, I'm not talking about Kevin Marshall, but he's just telling me he's living that because this is a human experience. So we gonna talk to help my brother and uplift him and whoever else may need this. Good morning, Michelle, Mimi Watkins. How are you? So glad to see you this morning checking in. I hope all is well with you and the family. Appreciate you guys. But to Kevin's point, see, going through that right now. How often do we do it? So my brother, knowing that you're well and deserving of what you're trying to do, let's talk about the definition of these terms. Think of a need, when I need to get something, as an experience, feeling, emotion that you have for function. You need safety, stability, and job. You need a roof over your head. You need to eat. You need to drink water. I mean, you need to do these basic things to survive, and we have to remind ourselves that. Got Chad Garand in the building. I thought I had you up, Chad. Good morning, brother. Checking in from LinkedIn. Good morning. How you doing? Let's make it a great day, man. Let's talk about this. When not getting what you want is what you need. It may not be what you want to hear right now, but let's just break that down, But also think of, a need. We talked about that, but also think of a want as an experience, feeling, or emotion that will enhance your life. Yeah, getting that new title would enhance your life. The notoriety that comes with it, the money, the experience, hey, the respect. How you feel about yourself, because when you were visualizing this, you were feeling real good. You had your chest puffed out, male or female, like, man, if I get this position, it's going to change some things. I'm going to do this, and that. And I understand that. And I'm the last one to tell you not to be ambitious. I'm the last one to tell you to not to put yourself out there. But as I was talking to my friend recently, when something didn't go his way, the only thought I had, like, man, I remember from whence you came. What do you mean? I remember years prior to he and I talking about what we wanted to achieve. And part of what we wanted to achieve in this particular case was the experience that didn't work out. But I say, man, look how far we come. From whence we came. James Baldwin. I like James Baldwin. James Arthur Baldwin was an American writer. He garnered acclaim for his work across several forms, including essays, novels, plays, and poems. As a novelist and essayist of considerable renown, James Baldwin bore witness to the unhappy consequences of American racial strife. The things he said, back in the 60s seem to be very relevant today. But one thing he said that's applicable to what we're talking about right now, I think is appropriate to share, is this. Know from whence you came. If you know from whence you came, there are absolutely no limitation on where you can go. So here's the thing. You knew what you had to go through to get to this point. You know where you were, Kevin. You know there was a time when they didn't call you coach. And there may be a time some time ago, but just reflect with me for a second, where they didn't call you coach. When you look from the sidelines, you say, hey, man, I want to be able to contribute. I feel I can help a lot. And then you went through the process. You paid your dues and you got there. And you're still paying dues. We're all still paying dues for that next opportunity. But just as James Baldwin says, you got to remember from whence you came to know that there's still growth for you. And it may not happen exactly when you want, because we have these needs and we have these wants. We have to be reminded. But if you want me to get a little bit more funkier with it, let's go back to something real basic. Guns and butter. They talk about this. I remember that iconic scene in the movie Baby Boy when our guy Ving Rhames comes up and said, hey, young fellas, let me tell you what the difference is between guns and butter. See, guns are things that appreciate, and I'm not in any way talking about violence or whatnot, but we're talking about hard assets, real estate, artwork, things that appreciate and value. You know, those are things that have a necessity with them. But the wants are, you know, the clothes, the cars, and all those things that don't last. So I think it's important that we keep those things in mind. My brother says, yes, sir. You know, so what I want to get at is that nobody says you're not deserving of what you want. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that you're not deserving of the things that you are pushing for. Nobody says that. But what I'm saying that in this process, sometimes we can become so fixated on a goal, not realizing that for whatever reason that may not be. Now, let me take a second step back. Let's use coaching, for example. You want a coaching job, you want that head coaching job, male or female, and then you realize that you probably weren't as prepared for it as you thought you were. I know. You just was going to make it work. You was going to do what you had to do. But now, if you don't get that position, whether it's the coaching job, whether it's the new position, you get to step back for a second and see. And oh my, how your eyes get big when you realize, ooh, I don't think I was ready for that. I have a quick story. I remember when I went to the Marine Corps as a college student. And I remember, I get a big fax from Michelle Mimi Walkers. I'm on to something here. I got my folks chiming in, right? I remember I was due to go to boot camp. And I had a small little cut on my toe. That cut you get when you bump the little piece of the bed, you know, that thing. And I remember going to MEPS, actually leaving Detroit and coming to Lansing area. And they did a full inspection when you strip down to just your underwear. And they saw the Band-Aid on my foot. And a small Indian lady of Indian descent said, what's that? And I said, I cut my toe. It was a little cut. She said, well, you got to let that heal. You can't go to boot camp. You get sand and you get infected. Now, she was absolutely right. Who wants to have an infection, have all these problems? But I was ready to go. I wanted to go. I was ready. I didn't need to go. Because if I needed to go, they would have sent me. But I wanted to go. Because I said goodbye to all my friends. I was moving on. So what I did is I ended up going and spending time 1 week with my grandmother, my late grandmother Madeline, who, you know, my daughter's named after her. I spent time walking around and kind of decompressing. You know what I found out, folks? I wasn't as ready as I thought I was. I didn't have the mental clarity I needed and the patience to be able to go through Marine Corps boot camp. So that 1 extra week of sitting back is what I needed. See, I wanted to go then, but I needed to stay. See, I'm not taking anything away from what you're thinking your future should be. And I'm not telling you not to dream on and be ambitious. But the reality is that when you work hard, and you prepare yourself for something, but somehow the universe doesn't allow it to happen, don't count it all bad. Because what you wanted is not what you needed. That's not what you may have needed at the time, despite your ambition. And when you can sit back and develop character of the experience, I know it's not easy, but when you can say, all right, let me have a good attitude. Let me fix my face. Let me really not only make the correct facial response, but also have the right mindset and go from there. And then you may need a little bit more help. That's why I'm grateful for someone like the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, DWIN, for being a great partner with SPS, to be able to provide those mental health solutions if it goes to the point where you need to take a step back. Because, again, when not getting what you want is what you need, you may have to step back and shift and rethink your mental outlook and your mental process, because we get so entitled. I know we talk about the next generation being that way, but we all experience entitlement in some way or form. Until we get kind of stopped in our tracks and have to realize, well, maybe, you know, even though I think I wanted this so bad, it's not a necessity in my life and I can still go on. And it may be setting you up for something else. It may be setting you up for a better experience. It may be setting you up for something that allows you to have a greater impact. So all I'm saying is that when it don't happen, Kevin, brother, just sit back and know that it's for a reason, and whatever that reason may be, whether it's politics, whether it's personal issues that people may have, just sit back and say, I'm not going to let this define who I am, and I'm going to keep pushing on because I'm going to remember from whence I came. I'm going to remember when this wasn't even a thought. I'm going to remember when it wasn't even supposed to happen. This wasn't even something to be considered. And now look at me now competing for it. And it's going to work out like it needs to. It always does. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go and have a great Monday. I'm going to let you have a great week, a great month, a great year. Hey, we're getting through June, July. My goodness, I'm saying June, we're in July. My goodness, we're getting through the year. And all I want to say is just keep your head up and stay positive. And that'll get you to where you want to go. It may not be easy. It may not be what you want to happen at the time, but that will get you where you go. My brother says that's the truth. I want to refocus and get back at it, and thanks. I need that, brother. I'm glad I was able to say something that can help you because you help so many, and it's well-deserved, and it's going to work out. Oh, and who is this? You late, mother. That's right. You know I get down at 8 o'clock on the dot, and I even got a text from you this morning. You know what it is, but you living that happy, retired life. You like your mother sometimes. You wake up, don't even know what day it is because you just chilling and enjoying yourself. And I'm so happy for you. But we'll talk soon. Love you much. And with that being said, Lindsay Ellis on SPS. Peace out.